Welcome into the Dice Dragons Guild.
Another introduction ruined.
In this hall, we unite under one banner. Live by the die.
Die by the die.
Ooh.
Oh.
No. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to roll two.
Boo.
Middle of the road.
Oh.
Okay.
Boo.
Kethra.
6.
Ooh, all right. 6.
Oh, no.
Kai.
8.
Oh.
Oh, nobody
no.
under.
Ayla, I
above
heard
10.
a 1.
5.
We're going to 5.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
I'm
is
winning
not
this
bo-
one.
Somebody call Adam.
Right.
Adam,
roll from your bed.
something better than a
Quickly
6,
roll
please.
at him.
Yes. Welcome in. So our starting roll is initiative for the entire session, we decided. Although it hasn't come into play yet. But,
She's like, right now.
yeah, I have it all written down. I am Izzy, your lore master, and today I have with me...
Hi, I'm Patrick. I play Kai.
That was. Oh,
Go
you
ahead,
gotta
say
point
it.
at me or something.
Oh,
I don't know. You
I
gotta
get
pick
to
Oh,
somebody.
is that what we were
No,
doing?
she's
You gotta
the
pick
DM.
somebody. Oh, I thought you were picking
she's
each other. I was like,
God.
oh, you
She
were looking at
chose
me.
you.
I was like, please
We
don't.
got to choose
Yeah,
the
you
next
did.
person.
I'm going to switch it up every time.
Oh, okay, good, because I thought you were picking me.
I did.
Oh, shit. Hi, I'm Julie. I play Kethra.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I play Iolite.
Hey, I'm Cuba. I play Ayla.
And we are down one player. Adam, who plays Eldon, is not here due to illness.
Like one of those, miss you, Adam.
Although
Sorry,
he
buddy.
did leave one dice.
See,
Oh.
he's here with us in spirit.
So he is still at the table.
Yes, always. Thanks for tuning in. Lots of different ways that you can be following our story. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We also invite you to become a member. We have the ability to have memberships now. It gives you early access to VODs and badges and stickers and all kinds of fun stuff, as well as access to our after sessions and Q&A. If you're hanging out on Twitch, thank you for joining us live Sundays at 4 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We keep it low pressure. We'll engage in the beginning of our session like hello Fitz. And also
Fitz.
Alberon RPG. Thanks for hanging out.
Hey.
I hope you also have a great session today. You can use your channel points to give lucky rolls and nat 20s and auto successes to me. We also have a Patreon.
Also the players. Just throwing that out there.
We also have a Patreon, and you can check out the perks of becoming a member on that, becoming a member of the guild, including we have keychains and dice trays, again, early access to VODs and podcasts, and we also have, or Patreon has the ability to join as a free patron, so please do that. We are trying to get to 50 members. We're up to 30, so we're over halfway there. And you can head over to our Patreon and check that out. Also, merch. We've got merch.
All of us?
Yay.
It's ever happened.
Yeah,
I've got the sweatshirt, and on this one, if I turn around, it's got the logo on the back. So we've got the Woven Fates.
it's our group.
We've got Live by the Die, Die by the Die, our motto, and then we have our logo.
Monty.
So if you'd like to support us, our tiny little stream, that's a great way to do it, and we love to see our merch out in the world, so love it. You can go to tinyurl.com/DDG merch and check out the new designs. We also still have a TeePublic, so if you're out there searching, you can find it there too.
Not everything is on the TeePublic, though.
Yeah, we have a variety of kind of different things. Enclave Day. There's an Enclave Day that is happening. So Enclave is a new diceless TTRPG by our new friend Robbie Howell. Enclave Day is it today? Hold
It's
on.
Next week, because it was supposed to be last week, wasn't it?
No, I don't think it was supposed to be last week. I'm just jumping into their Discord to check out. Enclave Day is actually Tuesday, the 23rd. All day, if you want to check out the Enclave, if you type in our Twitch chat !Enclave, it will come up with a link and you can join that. But also check out, you're going to want to look for Robbie Lava Games on YouTube. There are links to everything there. And you can play Enclave. It's going to be an all-day event in their Discord. We also are going to be having another session of it on our Twitch channel here in the Dice Dragons Guild. I think next Monday. I just have to set that all up.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. We weren't able to do it last Monday because I got sick. But they still played in our Discord channel. So check out Enclave. It's a lot of fun, and Robbie is great and has built a fantastic game.
And check out our Discord if you have not, which we've recently had like an influx of a few people, and they've been commenting and participating in there, so it's fun whenever we get new blood.
Yes. And I actually do believe that those folks joined our server due to the Enclave connection.
Man.
Oh.
Yeah. So we have a really great community of indie TTRPGs going. The Midnight World, my fingers are crossed. I believe we're doing that tomorrow, but either way, we're going to try to get that going again as well, which is a horror TTRPG co-created by one of my really good friends from North Carolina. So, no giveaway today, but I will announce probably next time the giveaway, which will be a link at the end of the premiere that you can click, and the first person that clicks it is able to redeem to win some merch from our merch store. So, am I forgetting anything else?
Nope.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yes,
Yeah.
there you go. Call to action. Please do the things. And with that... All right. I had a flashback prepared, however, that character is not here, so it will be saved for the next time. So we will do a quick intro. We rejoin our woven fates on the morning, the wee hours of the morning of Glee 23. 23 days after you all met for the first time, and yet a year plus of playing the game. Our adventurers are waking up underneath a large tree within the sleeping wilds jungles of Yumari Island. Let me get my jungle sounds. Oh, good damn.
Every new day I have to roll to find out my
If you don't blow up in your sleep.
No, it's the cosmic omen thing I have. Depends what I roll, what I can do with it.
Kethra, you found yourself waking early, just as rays from the suns fought their way down through the canopy of this old tree, stretched limbs and hanging vines giving a bit of protection from the passing rain from the day before. And you had a kind of eureka moment, reciting the lines from the letter you wrote as a gift to yourself someday years back. And it all made so much sense. The words seemed to click into place like the last piece of a puzzle. But just before you could awaken your companions with the news of your revelation, your old friend, doubt, clawed up from its hole in the back of your mind. You spent your whole life hating Rakes Phaley, your father, and the leader of your village. Your cult, a term you would only learn after leaving and confronting the truth of your upbringing. Rakes had visions, and everyone was always so keen to listen. Without hesitation. Why? You never understood why. How could someone say something and have no one question it? Did he even believe what he was saying, or did he knowingly lie to all of your faces? Why were people so eager to embrace his words? And now here you were, about to awaken your newfound friends with claims of visions and prophecies, and they would believe you. Probably. Not only that, but you had done the one thing you had always railed against with Cryon, when he, an absolute stranger, professed that you all were special and he had seen it in the stars. Not only did you believe him, but you formed an identity around his words. You allow your eyes to move from Kai to Eldon to Ayla to Iolite. You all said, yes, this must be so. And you gave yourselves a name and claimed a purpose. So you lie there and speak the words again inside your mind while everyone begins to stir. And shadows embrace, seek the moon's whisper, where the river meets the ancient tree. Secrets concealed by nature's hand shall guide your path, for destiny awaits beneath the silver canopy. So I leave it with you. Does Kethra share her theory of her written prophecy with the group? Or does she hold on to it and continue with the current plan of searching the wilds with the known information?
Most likely she would not share it right away, but she would kind of try to not alert everybody, but go try to check out the little tunnel and see if she can see anything down as she keeps repeating in the shadows embrace and everything over and over and over in her head.
Right. So you all awaken. Kethra first, for the first time, probably. Normally you've seen the others awake and moving. How do you start your day?
Are we going in an order, or I mean,
However you want to go.
Ayla doesn't like waking up in the mornings, so she is just laying there, grumbling.
Well, Kai usually doesn't have good night's sleep, so when he wakes up, he's usually eager to sit up and prestidigitation, get the sweat from the visions and night before, kind of refresh himself to keep up appearances, as his grandmother always taught him to do.
Okay.
Iolite is going to take a quick... She hasn't done this in a while. This sort of grounds her. She's going to take a look around and see if she can find any nice little rocks.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
$13.
Yeah. I would say underneath, kind of looking in different areas, because where you're at is very heavy with jungle greens, but you're also very close to where you did the little ritualistic conversation to let Beso, the ghost, move on to the next realm. So kind of lifting up the dead flora. I'll say, what do you find? What does the stone look like?
What color are those, like the dead flowers that...
I
Like
picture
people.
them being bright purples, pinks, probably some teal in there somewhere near the base where you would eventually find yourself. Now very faded, but in their heyday when they're alive, very bright, and something that is easily catches your eye, and you naturally would move towards it.
I think she finds one that is sort of a similar, like there is a pink flower, and then there's this small stone that is near it that is almost like a faded version of that pink and kind of matches the the dead-looking flower there. It's a little one.
A little memory of your ritual. What about Kethra?
She's gonna be having a conversation with Nyx, being like, Nyx, I don't know how to say this, but I feel like this is one of my visions, but I don't want to sound like my father. I don't know what to do. Nyx, what do I do?
Well, you've always been Nyx.
And you're gonna hear Nyx go. You're gonna hear Nyx go, Kethra, trust yourself. I've always told you you need to learn to trust yourself. I'm like, damn it, Nyx, it doesn't help. You guys are gonna hear it coming like, that doesn't really help, Nyx. And most likely, Nyx, being Nyx how he is, he's gonna try to walk down that tunnel on his own. Because he's like, you're not gonna go, I'm gonna go. And knowing I would follow him. And I'm going, Nyx, get back here. Here. Meow. No. I don't want to go in there, Nyx. Meow. Another no. Not coming out. So she would walk in enough to get Nyx out. To see where he is.
So you, the rest of you, Eldon also kind of gathering up his stuff, will look over, and for the first time, the rest of you see, with the morning light, as you, by the time you reach this tree, it was already dark. You see a low-level tunnel, meaning maybe 3.5 to 4 feet tall. You'd have to like stoop down. It's not immediately obvious that, especially in the dark, you wouldn't have even noticed. It's like there's a lot of greenery that reach in and around the opening. And Kethra, as you step forward and into it, you can see that it only goes back maybe about 10 feet before it kind of curves and looks like it goes down. And the rest of you see this opening. For a moment, I would say there's a little bit of like that feeling in your stomach, like, oh my God, we were right next to this hole and something could have come through, you know, those worst case scenarios of things that didn't happen but could have. But now you see Kethra stepping over and retrieving Nyx from it. Eldon, of course, says, "What's that over there? Is that a tunnel?"
Is that the cave in the tree?
And Kethra's like, squeeze her away and she's going, I think so.
We were right next to that the whole night. I never saw it.
We were tired, I suppose. Ghosts and all. What do you see down there?
You hear her crawling, a lot of dark and no Nyx.
Nyx went down there.
Of course he did. Nyx. You'll hear nothing. Because he's like, I'm not letting you know where I am.
Kai, hearing that it's dark, he has dark vision, so he'll walk up to the opening and see what it looks like inside.
Okay.
Nyx just in the shadows.
So, like, I have that rune. I actually need my phone for that. Because I think I have that rune thing that I can see in the dark, so she'll use.
Yep.
That.
So as long as you are wielding the cat's eye dagger, you can.
She'll reach down into her side and pull it out and be like, all right, now I can see where the hell I'm going. Nyx. Nothing.
You look in and you can see this tunnel. It does not appear, as you look around, it's very roughly hewn. It does not appear to be a humanoid-made hole. Possibly it's naturally occurring. It burrows into this stone that and rock that is beside where you all were, as there is just around, hills and whatnot. And taking a look around with your dark vision and the dimness, there is light from the outside. allowing you to see better. Possibly in the past, this had been used by creatures, various ones. You see like little debris, possibly little bones here and there. Nothing big, small little things. And there's nothing giving you pause that this has been recently utilized, or at least not long term by anything. Also, there are no predators on this island. None that are worth being afraid of, anyway. But what you do see is wherever this tunnel naturally once ended, it looks as though it has collapsed further in, about 10 feet or so to the right, and you can't see beyond as it crumbles down big chunks of stone, smaller dust, and disappears down into nothing, something. You hear Eldon like looking up and Theratrix around his feet. Well, we have to keep looking through the jungle for the rift. So we probably shouldn't get sidetracked with a tunnel.
We can't leave Nyx.
Well, you can resummon him, right? Just like with Theratrix.
Do you want to deal with a pissed off Nyx the entire time we're in the wilds? No, he doesn't like that.
Okay, fine. We will go find the cat. Where are my pants?
Where are my pants?
I think you're wearing a dress, Ayla.
Oh, right. No, she doesn't wear that to sleep. That's uncomfortable. So, as I get dressed, do that.
Like the idea of her changing
on-
into pajamas, like in the
She's got
jungle
a pair.
the night
She's got a
before.
pair of sleepy pants and a nighty shirt. I have a mobile closet, a magical mobile closet, and a backpack.
Half of the closet is filled with mangoes. The other half is Ayla's wardrobe.
Mangoes and pajamas.
There's some stuff in there. I think we're down to like 3 or 4 mangoes. 'Cause they got like another day.
The mangoes.
There's
have
very
turned.
little air in there, so they probably sit for,
Actually, you're right. That extends their life.
It's only every
Like
time you
vacuum sealed.
open it, you just
Get,
let
like,
10
10
minutes of air.
She hops over, do that like putting on one boot as you're hopping over thing.
Using the tail like a kangaroo hop.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm coming.
Always thinking of fun ways to use the tail. Tail play.
All right, Keth. Let's go get Nyx.
I swear to God, I'm gonna kill him. I swear he does this shit all the time. Nyx!
Why would he go in there? It is damp and spooky.
I don't want to sound like I'm a nutbag like my father, so please don't take everything I say as per se gospel, but this kind of whole silvered canopy and ancient tree shit reminds me of the vision I had in the hot tub. And I'm not going to blindly follow a vision because I could be crazy, like my father, and I don't want you guys following down this rabbit hole with me. I just want to get the cat and get the hell out of here. But he knows that, so he's forcing me to do this, and I don't know why.
Wait, Silver Canopy. Are you talking about that letter you had me read?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Something
It was
about
something I couldn't remember where the hell it came from.
something about whispers of the moon under a silver canopy
Yeah.
in shadow's embrace.
Sorry, that reverie stick
She's
did
like
more damage
looking
than I
up at the
thought.
tree. Is the tree silver?
it is not.
Oh, no, it's
Did it mention a tunnel?
What's
a dark
silver?
tunnel.
It did not, but it was. The exact was in the shadow's embrace. I woke up next to this one.
Spooning the Dark Lord, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Episode name: Spooning the Dark Lord.
That's perfect, actually. That is perfect. Seek the moon's whisper. We followed the moon to get here. where the river meets the ancient tree,
The river
concealed
of
by
mist.
nature's hand. The tunnel. Shall guide your path for destiny awaits under the silver canopy. And when I woke up, as the sunlights came through, it was a silver canopy.
Huh.
And I don't want to blindly follow it because, like I said, I could just be crazy like my father.
Seems like as good a lead as any. We don't really know where to go anyway.
If nothing else, it is a slight detour.
Yeah. And I was trying to talk it over with Nyx because I didn't really want to get you guys involved in case it was me just being a crazy case like my dad. And Nyx made the decision for me, so sorry guys.
I do not think you have to worry about being a crazy case. I mean, I do not know your father, but from all accounts, very, very different.
I'm afraid of what I could evolve into, so I don't want, and everyone had such blind faith in what my father said, and I never want anyone to have blind faith in what I say.
That is a wise thing.
And that's the reason I didn't want to say it, because I didn't want you guys to think I was trying to be a prophetic, crazy person.
If we follow you in there, it's not due to blind faith.
Yeah, it's obviously due to Nyx now.
No, we've seen what happens to you when you get these visions.
You've also never seen what I'm capable of, Kai.
Well, I'm willing to find out if you all want to go down there.
I have nothing better to do today.
So we're all going down this little dirty, dark tunnel.
Yep.
Well, it isn't the worst place we've all wound up.
See, I could just does anyone have bread? I could just hang on the outside and try to dangle them out. We don't have to really go down there.
I wish I had bread.
Mangoes.
Just mangoes.
See Kethra just go, alright, what the fuck, and just keep crawling. Just kind of creeping down, Nyx! Where the hell is this cat?
I'm gonna follow you.
Yep.
Nyx!
I'll stroll into the cave.
Okay.
Tree cave.
I picture Eldon going, saying something under his breath, and Theratrix looking up, and just as you all head in, Eldon and Theratrix bringing up the rear. The two of them sharing some knowledge between them. As you head in, again, this is not a tunnel that is conducive to individuals of your size being comfortable. You have to duck down, go in. It's about 10 feet or so, moving in before the crumbling earth descends down, but then also seems to kind of wrap around a bit. Who is going first?
I would go first. After Nyx.
Kai right behind her.
Okay.
I think Iolite is going to be holding onto the back of Kai's jacket because she, I think, is the only one that can't see in the dark.
Eldon can't see.
Oh, Eldon can't see in the dark. That's right. He's here.
Yeah. Once
Eldon's hanging onto your tail.
Theratrix is fine. So once you turn the corner, it becomes very clear after you turn, and there's a sharp U-turn almost that happens, but at an angle down. The crumbling stone only goes maybe another 10 or so feet before it drops down into a hole that is a little difficult to see, but probably 20 or so feet with those with dark vision. Looking, you can see that it drops down. This hole that was made looks to be about, we'll say, 5 feet or so in diameter. And looking down into it, you can see that there's a big pile of stone and rubble that has come down into the space below. There's a slight hint of worked stone floor.
Why don't we have a dwarf? We need a dwarf with their stone cunning.
So you get the impression that at least Kethra, you being in the front, would see. You believe that this goes from natural occurring stone to somebody's handiwork down below.
That's creepy. Slightly creepy. Looking down like, well, that kind of looks like actual stonework down there. And she'll move out of the way and be like, look, push Kai, look.
It's a tight squeeze. It's kind of like a 1-to-1, so like you can get and look over her shoulder, but you both wouldn't be able to fit at the same time.
What's the holdup?
Well, I don't think this tunnel is 100% natural.
Of course it's not.
Why? What is it that you see?
Stonework,
Stonework.
like a stone floor.
That is interesting. Do I have any guess of... I guess it'd be as mysterious as the ruins we encountered in that first session, right? They're just ancient, possibly elven ruins dotted around.
Well, you haven't seen anything yet, but being from Yamari, you know that, and everyone in the world of Eleothis knows that the elves arrived in year 0 and claimed, although there were already all the other races here, claimed the start of history. Obviously, there are still texts that are written and whatnot from before then, but the elves created civilizations and had homes and whatnot that were established and then abandoned and whatnot. So it's always kind of been known, yeah, there are ruins here. Not everything always survives. Moswick took over as the main city on this island at a certain point, and not all ruins or villages continued. There is a portal on this island. So it's not unheard of or surprising to come across ruins above ground. But people still don't typically go into the wilds because although there were no scary predators, there was still plenty of flora out there that could kill you. And just natural occurring. Like, not everybody's walking around with healing potions and healing spells. If you fall off a cliff face, you're done. So people just didn't really do it. You don't know, or at least maybe I would say more of you know, of no discussions or historical teachings of anything existing below Yamari Island. The only things that you knew of that you had been told was Yamari, coming up from the the ocean and building this island from her joy and trying to rise herself back up to where the gods are. And then even her revelation to you that the rift was contained within the earth of this island was new. There just hasn't really been that type of exploration here. It's been a tourist attraction, a place to be safe, a place to go to the hot springs. The Callian and Cassian empires have claimed this, more specifically Callia. But this was like a money grab. It's a very nice place where people like to come and they make a lot of money on this island through tourism. There hasn't been investment in trying to understand more. So you wouldn't the fact that there is worked stone, or that being described to you, underneath this random tree is interesting, to say the least. But you also can't see it yet. You're too far behind. You're all just hunched over. And you're in your 20s, so, except for you, but yeah, like you'd be feeling it in your back by now, but the rest of you, we remember. You could hunch over for like at least 20 minutes.
That time didn't affect me physically.
You can hunch over for at least 20 minutes and be fine in your early 20s. So yeah, this is a new thing.
Well, let's go.
Lead the way, Keth.
So I guess I'm going down the hole, huh?
How far down is it?
20-ish feet or so. Hard to gauge from where you're at in the dark, but a drop.
This is, I can let you know in a little bit.
Maybe we should use a rope. Unless you really want to jump.
That's probably better than me jumping down the hole.
Well, I can climb down with you if...
Can you just walk on the walls and stuff? Yeah, what do you... Okay. If you want. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to hold a rope and I'll go first?
Kai just picks her up and then, like, puts
Or that works
his
too.
Because Kai's like a foot taller than
One of
her,
those, like,
so...
foot out long steps.
She's like 5'1", so he's like, that works too.
Okay. You watch as Kai just kind of steps down. Kai, you like crouch yourself down, holding on to Kethra, and walk down and around, finding yourself in a dark hallway. It's very clear as you step under and walk, and then kind of walk down the wall and land on top of the rubble pile. This hall is intricately carved. We're going to transition our sounds as the jungle fades behind you. It's a stone hall. It stretches out on either side, left and right, and goes fairly far. You could see some what appear to be like darkened rooms branching off, doorways at least, and the hallway on both sides goes further than your vision can see. 60 feet?
I think so.
Or you're 120?
60.
Okay. Into further darkness. It is not pitch black. There is very faint color emitted from the various rooms. Colors like there's glowing happening. But with your very limited understanding of where you are, that's all you can really discern, is that you are in a hallway that has been intentionally put here. As you stand here looking at the walls, you can see carvings that are... I'm going to find my words here to describe. You see meticulously carved into the stone these runic patterns that are almost in like a circular pattern with lines and arrows and things that like branch off of each other, always in these circles. It's very like elegant looking. There are jagged edges in the writing, but it always comes back to this like fluid appearance across the walls. That's the most that you can get from here. It's quiet. You can barely hear the sounds of the jungle up above as the rest of you kind of hang out and look. Are you going down and following Kai?
Well, she's in front of me.
Kai will yell up, Eldon, secure a rope. Help the others down.
And after a few minutes, easy enough, you all end up in this hall and see the same, well, Iolite and Eldon, you can see a lot less.
We ain't seen shit.
It's like you might have to sit and let your eyes adjust for a while before you will be able to see even a fraction of the detail, unless you light something up. But that's your choice in this moment.
Is that writing infernal or elvish?
You get closer and look. This writing is nothing that you have ever seen before, ever. Same for you, Kai. You've seen in going through your grandmother's court and through the royal castle, all kinds of writings from all areas, all of the established civilizations and regions. Nothing like this.
I don't recognize any of these runes.
Neither do I. I really
No.
wish I prepared that spell where we could understand read any language.
No, I mean, I've never seen writing like this before. I've seen almost every kind there is on this world. I have
Interesting.
never seen this.
Well, I'm presuming you cannot feel where Nyx went.
No.
Okay. Where do you think he would have gone?
Down that dark hallway.
It stretches either way. So, down this way or down that way.
She's gonna go, Nyx, I swear to God, if you don't let me know where you are, I'm going to resummon you. And from the left hallway, you hear, meow. That worked. That way.
Do we want to light a torch?
Kethra just go, produce flame in her hand. Does that work?
Oh, very well.
Good enough for me.
Okay.
I also have this if anyone wants it. And he holds the little box that has the mote of light.
Ooh, I want it.
You have to attune to it if you can.
It will still work. You just can't use its special ability. Like, you can still use it to light up while you wait to attune, but you just can't blast it while you wait.
Is it something where if I use it, it like wrecks it for the day for you?
No, it works as like a drift globe normally,
okay.
but if you use the spell, then it just becomes dim.
I see. I'll just use it for light.
I don't believe Kai's attuned to it anymore, right?
No.
Right. So you can attune to it if you would like.
If I can.
Let you use the light cantrip too.
Yep.
I don't have the light cantrip prepared though.
It lets you do it.
Oh, it lets you do it.
If you're tuned to it, you
If you're
can
attuned.
do the light
that's cool.
cantrip.
All right, well.
So while you kind of allow yourself to connect with this moat, one thing that you all start to notice as you're heading down to the left, you see these intricate writings on the wall. They kind of, again, resemble like spokes on a wheel, just like it all branches off into the next one, and some of them have a full variety of these carvings, and then others are only partial, and then others like lead into, but it's all along this wall. You see embedded within the stone these what you immediately recognize as some variation of a lantern that's just like kind of built in, and as you walk along, the lanterns are not lit, but they're almost like a metal that has been like tapped into the stone. Just something different. You hadn't really seen that before. You can hear your footsteps echoing down this hall. It's quite sparse here. The air is warm, like warm from maybe a few degrees cooler than when you're up. So like high 70s Fahrenheit. Musty though, like very old. There's a little bit of dampness. And even as you walk down this hall, you can see like trickles of water that have left deposits of calcium or other minerals just like leading down. It's not like layered and layered, but just like little bits that have started to form. You start walking down this hall and come to a doorway, and looking into it, you see the first thing that like crosses your mind as you turn and look into this room is like a prayer space. There are glowing, the lanterns that are not lit in the hallway, they are kind of just very, very faintly, several of them in this room that are emitting just a little bit of light. Very difficult for Iolite or Eldon coming up the rear to fully see what's going on in the room, but as the rest of you go in, you can see in this space is like a desk, there are writing utensils, there are metal pieces around, and there is also what appears to be almost like a humanoid figure that it's like a statue on the leftmost wall. All of these rays kind of coming up. There are offerings around the base. It's like a golden looking from where you're at. It's difficult to see colors here. But shiny and humanoid, 2 arms, 2 legs. You're a bit far away to see any more details than that, but it just looks like a place where people maybe worshipped. That's immediately what comes to your mind.
I'm gonna make the candle, the lanterns in the room go from dim to bright so that it lights up this room so we can see better in it.
Okay. You see more of what you see just kind of solidifies this in your mind as being some kind of worshipping space.
And what's the statue look like species-wise?
The statue, do you step into the room? Are you going in to take a look around?
Yeah.
Okay. So you step into the room and looking in. First of all, when you brighten the room, you see like bits of creatures, not huge, just like maybe bugs, little things that just kind of scatter and go into wherever they came from. You hear the little skittering across the ceiling. When you step forward and look at this this entity, it is not someone that you have ever seen. It resembles very, very faintly an elf, but it's not an elf. This humanoid has pointed ears, but they have this like serrated back edge. And their faces are very similar to that of an elf or a human or yourself. But the nose is small and like kind of a little bit higher up on the face, just below the eye line. This is the best that you can get. Otherwise, they look very similar to maybe an elf or a human, but you have never seen this, like kind of peering in and looking at the ears. You don't know of elves with serrated ears, or, I mean, there are some orcs that you have seen that maybe their noses are a little bit higher up or different than like a human or an elven nose, but this is not a person that you know.
Is anyone familiar with whoever that is?
I've never seen anything like that before.
Looks elvish, but not.
Not with those ears.
Looking at the statue and the desk, is there like any sort of accumulation of dust or a lack of that would maybe indicate if it's like been sitting there empty for a long time? If the things have like a coating of dust on them, or do they look like squeaky clean?
I would say I'm going to have you make a history check for that.
The history of dust.
Or, well, history. Ayla, I would say that you could also make either a history or a survival or investigation. This one is tough. It depends on whatever one you just decide to roll. If you get enough information, I'll tailor it to that. But
History for me? 15.
okay.
16 for history.
Okay. The best way I can describe this is looking at the items on the ground, on the desk, in this room, even kind of like walking through. There's dust. And if this was an ancient ruin above ground, you would have a better idea of how much time had perhaps passed, because there's active wind moving things around and, dust moving through the air, where with this it's a little bit more difficult because being here you don't feel the movement of air. It's not as if you're in a space, you haven't seen any vents or anything. Like, there's definitely a layer. It's kind of thin. But you would also know, the two of you kind of looking at this together, it's a lot harder to discern time by dust layers in a place where there isn't enough nature moving to deposit things over and over and over again to build it up. What you do kind of get from this, though, is as all of you are standing around like listening, you don't hear too much. You don't hear people. But you also...
I hope not.
You also... you see a cup on one of the desks, and when you head over to look at it and see if there's any dust in there, there is like a little layer in there, but when you also look, you can see like the rim within it, now that the lights are bright, of where whatever liquid this was had been, and then very likely over however much time evaporated, for whatever that's worth.
You had mentioned there were some papers and things. Are there any papers with writing on them? I know you said we can't understand it, but if there's some papers with writing, Kyle will take like a couple of them and just put it in his jacket for maybe he can find a way to translate it another time.
You see a couple of pieces of paper, which, as you're going through and looking around at some of the things in here, and there was that one small desk, thinking to temples that you know of here, in Eleothis in general and in your homeland, you would expect to see scrolls and all kinds of stuff. There's very little. There's like little bits of paper with still that same like circular writing. You do see a metal slab that's like about maybe 4 inches across, maybe 6 or 7 inches, and then it has like a curved top. But it's just this like flat metal slab, like you pick it up and that's all it is. And there's a couple of those on the desk, but you are able to grab a couple of small pieces of parchment.
He'll take one of the slabs as well, see if he can figure out what it's for later.
Okay.
This being a chapel, I'm going to look for two things:
Okay.
valuables and sacramental wine.
I was waiting for the wine. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
Maybe some real sour hooch, because we don't know how long
Or
it's been.
we're in a wine cellar. It's very well preserved.
In this one room that you are in, or are you going out and exploring more?
I'll explore the other rooms in due time, but in this particular room, if it seems like a place of worship, usually those are the two things you find at a place of worship.
This is more of like it appears to be more of like a room you would go in to actually worship, not like a wine, cellar. But
They bring the wine from somewhere else along with the pizza box crackers.
right. So for the
Jesus.
For Jesus.
for the valuables, it's kind of, you go over to the altar area and you do see little trinkets, things that appear to be jewelry. Nothing that looks like coin or like gold or silver or anything like that, meaning like money that you're familiar with. But you see like jewelry more specifically, things that look as if they were used to adorn people, and things that also look like they're on the statue, like carved into the statue or as part of that statue. You can see these things look similar to what the statue is wearing. You take some?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How many do you take? A
A
handful.
handful of the nicest ones.
Okay.
Did I just anger Satan?
Maybe
We'll
somebody.
find out, I guess, when the tunnel caves in.
Also,
Or floods with
Kai,
blood.
by this time, he's not holding it, but he would have summoned Bloodletter Shadow to his hip.
Okay. You have explored the room. It appears to be a temple room or a worshipping room, prayer room.
We should keep moving, see what else is here.
No nicks in this room.
Next.
It's not a huge room, so yeah, you're
Looking under the
able to
pews.
see.
You're gonna step into the hallway and go, next. I can't tell where that's coming from, can you?
That way.
No shit, but where that way?
There are more rooms.
Check another one.
On to
So-
the next one.
So I'm looking at my handful of stolen rings and like, let's see what else we can find.
Oh. You're gonna go, well, you got some good stuff. I'm good. It's bad as usual to tape stuff from down here. No,
I do not know this juju.
it's good. It's good. You don't want to know the juju. It's not good.
You see more rooms as you walk down this hall. You can tell that at the end of the hallway it appears to open up into a larger chamber, but as you pass or stop into these rooms, a lot of them are similar. There appear to be slight variations between the statues that are in this space. Still, all of them have areas for providing offerings. Less paper, those little metal slabs around. One thing that you start to notice as you go through and look around is you can see evidence of lives lived. Like whoever was here was doing something and then just simply no longer was there. There are...
They left abruptly.
Less that they left abruptly and more that they just simply disappeared. There's not evidence of rushing. Like as you're looking around, you see cups, you see in certain rooms there are utensils somewhat similar to those that you're familiar with. Like you get the gist of plates and bowls and not necessarily forks and knives, but similar types of instruments for eating. You can see in the rooms where there are plates that there are stains of whatever the food was that was sitting there. Nothing appears to be knocked over. Nothing appears to be like there was a scuffle or a fight, or it's as if whatever was happening just stopped. Everywhere that you look, though, you can see evidence of like metal embedded within the architecture in this space. What we would know as screws, like screwed into metal plates on the walls. There's a lot of metal adorning the furniture that you are finding here. It's wood and stone, but whatever this culture has incorporated a lot more steel and other types of blends into their furniture and everything that you see around. The panels on the walls are very strange. It's nothing that you have seen in your travels. And as you come to the hallway that opens up into this larger antechamber, you can see more like stained glass windows, which is interesting in this space. And within it, all of those runic circles and spokes and all of the figures, like as you brighten the lights where you're going, resembling the humanoid creatures with the serrated pointed ears and the high placed noses. And when you're in this space where you're able to brighten the stained glass windows, the colors that you see on their skin is like mixtures of greens with like and browns and like yellow undertones. And on the walls in this space, as the lights illuminate, there are very clear depictions of battles. There are folks resembling those gods or whatever they might be, attacking and fighting. And the creatures that you see them fighting they look like octopus-headed humanoids. Purple skin, tentacles coming out of their mouths, and they are actively locked in these battle scenes. In all of them, of course, what you are witnessing, choke on my own spit, is the green-skinned individuals reigning triumphant in every scene, but you can see these purple and blue and like mottled creatures with their tentacled mouths and large black eyes. They're wearing robes or ornate clothing. These are not two civilizations fighting each other that are like primitive in any way, or they look as advanced or more than you. But everywhere that you see, they are fighting them. And in some scenes, you can see like the tentacles are wrapped around the heads of these creatures. They're fighting them with spears, but the spears have like jagged depictions of like electricity coursing through them or things like that. And they're fighting with like shields or even what appear to be like crossbows, but that have no arrows.
Boomsticks.
And it is all very foreign to you. Both the entities that are depicted as being, victorious on these walls, as well as whatever or whoever they are actively fighting.
That is quite a thing to behold.
Very strange. It's nothing like I've ever seen. The architecture, their weaponry.
I have read a lot of the books in the library. There's nothing like this in any of them.
I don't know much, and I haven't seen a lot, but this definitely doesn't seem normal.
How does the rest of your vision go? Does it... This is not quite silver canopy, but...
No, it basically just said follow the hole. That's what I got from it. It was like the silvered canopy was this morning, where the sun came through. That's what I thought it was, but I don't know.
What you notice as you're looking around the space, and you've brightened up as you've gone along. Kethra, as you say, like the silvered canopy, you're kind of like looking up, and you have noticed that as the lights have come on in the areas that you're in, and you've been, I assume, brightening, and you also have the motes of light, and as you've been walking along, like the creatures that have been living in here for however long they have scurried away, you take a moment to look up at the ceiling and notice little bits of minute white light that are scattered across the ceiling in this particular space. And kind of taking a look at all of it, you turn and can see from the doorway that you came all of these little lights, and you step closer and you can see that it's this little fungi, little kind of mushrooms without the full caps. At the tips there are just like little lights, and you, now that it's darker in the space that you came from, you can see them scattered along the ceiling. I'm going to have you actually make a nature check for it.
Time flies when you're having fun.
10.
10. You can tell that this is a fungus you are not familiar with, but you get closer, and the things that you can immediately tell, while you might not know the name of it and maybe haven't come across it before, it is it's embedded into the ceiling, which is interesting in and of itself. It seems to only grow up above. You don't see it on the floor. You see little bits of it that maybe come a little bit down, a couple inches down on the walls. You can't really see a pattern or anything, but you notice that there seem to be little clusters. But it's kind of spread out, almost as if, and when you're looking up, almost as if you're looking at like the night sky. And Iolite, I'm going to have you roll a nature check as well.
Or maybe that?
How high is the ceiling?
In this room, it's very high. I'm going to say it's like 40 feet.
10.
You
Okay.
both got 10s.
You, looking up Iolite, get also the same impression. It's like looking at the night sky. But that's all you can really tell at this moment.
That's like this is like the fungus growing where there's like sky in the pictures. Like it's almost like a backdrop. It's not. Is it growing on the depictions?
It's growing. So yeah, like the depictions are all throughout, all on the ceiling, on the sides. I would say between all of you, what you're gathering here is The fungus came after. Doesn't appear to be intentionally.
So it is growing on like over some of
Yes.
like the pictures. Okay, it's
Yeah.
not like specifically growing like in like the sky.
Nope,
Part
it
of
followed
the
you
thing.
like down the hall. Although you couldn't quite see it because you had lit up everywhere that you were. It wasn't something that you were paying attention to. But as you turn around and see the darkness, you can see the little bits, and then it's all over.
What color?
White.
With his dark vision, can Kai see what the ceiling is made from? Is it wooden, stone?
It looks to be, even as you're standing there looking, there is, it's metal. Metal, stone, but mostly metal. And you stand there and looking around, it's a very open space with benches that, again, intricately carved, or even made out of metal as well. And then in the middle of the room, there's like a metal slab. It looks like a metal table that's just plain, nothing on it.
That seems to be like the centerpiece of this room.
It seems to be a centerpiece as you look at it, though, like kind of looking around, looking underneath, there's almost nothing to it. It's just a table. It has the 4 legs. They're kind of thick legs, not like little thin spindly ones, but it's just a flat metal table. There doesn't appear to be anything special about it. Yeah.
Appears that the ceiling is made of steel. A silver canopy.
Yeah. And Kethra's super freaked out by all of this, but she's trying to play cool. Cheer up. Nix!
There is a set of Jesus. double doors that lead out. It appears to be the entrance to whatever the space is that you have been in. It is open, just very slightly. And from beyond it, you can tell that there's even more glow coming from outside.
Well, let us continue down this path, I suppose.
Just keep walking on, and she'll walk towards the doors.
Are there more signs that people just vanished here? Like, are there, like, things that people would have? Purses, wallets?
No, there's nothing like that. It's not as if they, like, whoever it was disappeared and, like, there's clothing but no people in them
rapture.
or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, not quite,
Well, like,
not
are
quite
there, like,
that.
cups? Did like, is this a giant cafeteria? Is this, like, a underground
this-
common area? Like, someone had a soda pop and it's just there, but they're gone?
No, from this space, it's almost like this was a welcoming area. There aren't tables. There's a lot of like decor around, maybe vases with metal adornments that kind of resemble plants, but there's no space to like have a drink or something. There are some seating areas, but it's, again, if you believe yourself to be in a place of ritual or prayer or something like that, this would be like where people came in and then they could go down to.
I was picturing, like, Grand Central Station.
No, this is like a temple, or that's the closest that your brain can come to.
All right, so no donkeys.
Nope. Are you exiting?
Kai's definitely looking at the double door where there's more light coming through.
Yeah, I think we'll poke our head out the door.
Okay. You see that fungus that has grown like kind of domes in this space. It is like a domed ceiling, and then kind of crawls down and out. You see it kind of. It's ending at the top of the double doors. There's a little bit on the top of it, but then it goes out of the double doors. And as you open the doors, it is hard. It's been a while. You can tell as you like push them open, and before you, you see this vast underground city. You are atop it, kind of like on the edge. Obviously behind you is this temple that you have just exited. There's this architecture that's just like seamlessly integrated into the stone, but it stretches far in front of you. You can see buildings with smooth, polished stone and steel and metals of different types, natural stones. There's these geometric patterns that are all built in and stylized depictions of like celestial bodies. There are bridges and walkways, but also these interesting kind of contraptions that hang on top of the bridges that are just sitting there. They almost look like little houses with glass on them. There are stairways, and it's as if you are in a globe. As you step out and look up, you see that fungus all on the ceiling high above you, as if you are looking up at the night sky from down below. And across this area, the reason why you can see is because within this city, you see glowing colors, oranges and pinks and like yellows all throughout, either in doorways or windows or just across, even in those little tiny homes that seem to be sitting on top of bridges. There is hints of very, very soft light coming from it. And somewhere in the distance, like what appears to be in the center of the city, you can see a building that is, although not brightly illuminated, more glowing than the rest of the space. And it appears from your view that these buildings are just like in these circular rings around this central plaza. Again, off in the distance, you would need to like climb down or make your way down to the rest of the city, but you are in another world beneath your own world with things that you have never seen before. And as you all kind of like take a look at one another and then take a look back, you can even see these metallic humanoid entities just standing still, almost like statues, but they are not made of stone, as you are familiar with it. And in a sense, it kind of reminds you, Ayla, as you are taking all of this in, this world that has existed below your island, it reminds you of your father's new contraption, his new leg, the one that was made of metal and gears and things that like moved and allowed him to walk on two legs again. But you weren't familiar with it, and he had said someone came through and he bought it from them. This has a similar feeling, not as jagged as that, but everywhere you look there is the shininess of metal, and it has its influence in this space.
How's the size of this city like comparable to Mosswick? I know we never got like a full like overview of it, but is it comparable, smaller, larger?
I would say that you, from where you're standing, which appears to be on this outer skirt's edge, are able to see up until about the halfway point of this city. So comparable, I would say, but the darkness here makes it a lot more difficult.
And it's just like as we were coming from before, there doesn't appear to be any life, like no...
You hear, well,
I should say, doesn't appear as though the city is populated.
Right. As you sit there looking almost at like the skeletal remains of the city, you are all kind of quietly in awe, taking in all of this, the colors, the variety of architecture that's very different from anything that you're used to, all of the strange metals, the tall and small humanoid figures that are just standing still throughout areas that you can see. And as you do, you, Kai, looking around, see just a glint of a shadow that just shuffles behind a building somewhere off in the distance. And that is where we will take.
Oh my god. Like literally Michael Jackson's You Are Not Alone started coming into my head and I was like, yeah, we're not alone.
We return to the underground. Our adventure is standing in an ancient city beneath the sleeping wilds of Yamari Island, having exited what appears to have been a temple of sorts, or at least a place of worship of various gods that are unfamiliar to you. You look out across the city. You are at an angle above where you can see it's almost as if there are bridges that link where you're at to the rest of this space. In the center, there appears to be some kind of main building off in the distance. You can tell that whatever this is, this circular formation of buildings expands well beyond your vision out into the darkness. There are glowing colors, yellows, orange, a lot of warm colors out, illuminating windows and various dwellings, lanterns, just very faint, as if there's just a hint of some kind of energy left behind. But there are no people, at least that you have seen. Up above on the high ceiling under here, this carved stone and metal, you can continue to see the twinkling white lights of fungi that have grown throughout and appear to be located on the ceilings and high walls of the area that you are in. You can see kind of like crawling up the sides and disappearing before you see again the twinkling up above. It's difficult to discern how high up the ceilings are, but very high. And out in the distance, you can hear only really like the quiet drips of what appears to be water coming from the surface, coming through the stone. And other than that, it's a very large city, quiet. Statues or humanoid figures just stand solitary, unmoving in various spaces. They look to be made of metal as well. Lots of flat surfaces. The writing and carving on the wall has a a very elegant, curved, and yet there are geometric patterns contained within. It's a society unfamiliar to you, and the figures that you have seen portrayed on walls or in the statues that you see have these long pointed ears with serration, and high set noses, otherwise looking very similar to you except for their skin color, yellows and greens. It's a different space here. It's quiet.
This is amazing. I do not think anybody knows that this was here.
Agreed. You'd never know that this was in this hole in the ground.
Definitely doesn't look like anyone's been here for a while.
When was Yamari colonized? Like,
Well, it's unclear, really. I mean, the elves arrived in year 0, but as with other areas, there were likely people here before they got here.
right, but I mean, they didn't just show up here in particular on year 0, like...
No, they all over Eleothis. Mosswick only has become really like the hub that it is in the past like 300 or less years, 200 maybe. But there have been people here for hundreds of years.
Where is that cat?
You can hear her go, Onyx Evermoon, I'm done. Where are you?
The government name. Oh
No. Onyx? Come here.
Is he still leading us somewhere?
Let's ask him. Nix, are you leading me somewhere? Yeah. Well, that one sounded like a yeah to me. Where? And I like, meow. Just follow him. I don't know what he's trying to do. I'm gonna wring this cat's neck. I swear to God. Onyx Evermoon, you are not getting bread for at least a week for this.
Whole
Let's
week.
follow him. No baguettes, no rolls, nothing.
All right, well, I guess you lead the way.
All right, I'm gonna kill this cat. I'm gonna kill my cat. I'm gonna kill my kid. Oh my God! Catherine's getting fully irritated with Onyx now.
They're
now Onyx.
figures that... They're statues, right? They're not like literal figures standing there dead alive but not moving.
The robots.
The robots?
The robots. Yeah, there are, you see a variety. There are statues, but then there are also what appear to be metallic-looking humanoid figures that are, where you're at specifically, you're up kind of overlooking the city. There are a variety of ways in which you can, it appears, access this. There's this like interesting looking bridge that appears to be like too thin for humanoids to walk on, and there's no railing on either side, and like about halfway through it is like a building, or it looks to be like a small metal house just like sitting in the middle of it. You would have to like walk along this thing and like get to it. There's at least one stairwell that leads up, and you could go down into it and start heading into the city. There's another bridge that appears to be like more of a walkable bridge that goes across and like connects to another building. There are a variety of ways in which you could go. Iolite, I'm going to have you roll another nature check.
Use my inspired action.
How are you inspiring yourself?
What were you having me?
As you look up at the ceiling and are kind of working through the phrase that Kethra has said over and over again, the silvered canopy. You know, at first you all were thinking, well, the light from the suns as it filtered through the canopy of the tree, but then you're thinking the fungus that was grown, and you're in the temple, so it must be that, but now you're here and it becomes like ever larger, and just trying to see if there's, just if you can put any pieces together looking up at the...
I think to inspire myself, I've spent so much time like in the jungle with this like canopy. It's like I haven't been able to like see the sky in a while, which is, you know, typically something she does all the time. So she's going to like close her eyes and just like take a beat and just picture in as much like vivid detail as she can, like what specifically she would be seeing up there if she was looking at like the real sky, and then open her eyes again.
Okay, I'm gonna have you roll with advantage.
Wow. Was that nature?
Mm-hmm.
7. Okay. A 3, a 1, a 3, and a 4.
Okay. Brutal. The dice are telling you. So you look up and kind of close your eyes and are picturing the night sky, and there's almost this feeling of having, like you've lost it a little bit. Like you close your eyes and you used to be able to picture and memorize exactly where everything was, and it's there, but it's almost as if you're distracted. Like other things start entering into your mind, more specifically the fact that that stone that you handed to Desi through by way of Nyx, and Nyx returned with it. It's like burning a hole in your pocket. Like, what does that mean? There was no note with it. And it's like you're picturing the stars and how you and Desi used to like sit out on that field and look up at the sky, and this was outside of studies, so it was on your own time, and like building that connection both with the stars and with him, and that's where your mind starts to go, is like, damn, what, you know, yeah, how is this all part of this prophecy? Close your eyes, and then, oh, I remember that night, one of many nights when blah blah blah, and the stone, and he didn't say anything. Is he mad at me? Is he thinking about me right now? And is he angry that I didn't show up, or is he sad? And when you open your eyes, it's just a carpet of white blinking lights.
Fucking mushrooms, you ain't the stars.
So which direction would you like to go? The stairs, a bridge, or try to get across to the...
Following Kethra.
Knowing the cat, I'm trying not to do it as the cat. I'm trying not to say the bridge, because that's most likely what the cat would do. So where do we want to go? Above the table, where do we want to go? Where am I sending Nyx?
Oh, I mean, if you're asking me, it's the bridge.
Yeah,
It's
All right.
the dangerous one.
Yeah, you're the one who can walk on the ceiling, so that's
But there's like
there's-
stairs, a monorail line or something, and then a bridge.
Yeah, there's
Right.
like a bridge, a walkable bridge, a bridge that looks precarious and leads to like a building in the middle of it, a small hut, and then stairs.
All right, so let's pick the non-nefarious bridge. Right?
Non-nefarious bridge.
Non-nefarious bridge. So you'll see Nyx jump out, look at us, and go meow, and like follow me, and we're gonna follow down the not so narrow death trap bridge.
Walking across this particular bridge, you kind of can't help but like run your hands along it and feel this cold metallic frame. You're so used to, all of you, stone and like wood, and not to say that there wouldn't be little elements of decorative metal, but this is all mostly metal with then added elements of stone and wood into it. and embedded throughout are still those kind of metallic framed lanterns, some of which are hanging from chains that hang over beams that are again metal. There's a lot similar to your own lives and cities that you're familiar with. The comforts of, you know, where lights would be, areas to sit. As you walk along, you find yourselves kind of like passing by, clearly shops, but the storefronts that you're seeing, like they're kind of like glass, but all metallic and carvings within, images that you're not familiar with. You see art that depicts clearly these people. Their colors and body shapes ranging, typically very similar to elves in that they're like very kind of lithe, but there are a variety of shapes and sizes, mostly like light greens, like pastel kind of off-white, and then darker greens, that like yellows undertone, orange undertone. It reminds you, those of you who have seen orcs and goblins and hobgoblins, but it's got a different feeling. And there are like, similar to what Ayla has with the spotted or stripes, those can also be seen in some of the art that you're seeing. There isn't as much art as you have seen when you're picturing paintings. There, everywhere that you look, though, there are very smooth and flat or curved, but again smooth, metallic, not slabs, but other words that I can't
Sheets.
think of. Sheet. There you go.
Does the city look worn? Is there more? Does it look like it's been falling apart due to disrepair?
No, it looks like the only sense you really can continue to get as you walk through it is that it was like time stopped here one day. And it's not that you don't maybe see rust here and there, but very little of it, because whatever this metal is, it's not the type that you're mostly familiar with. It seems to be a stronger something. You keep walking by and like end up standing in front of a tall, maybe like 6 foot tall, humanoid, metallic individual. It's not a statue, because as you like touch it, you can feel its arms move, but it is built to resemble very faintly, without extreme detail in the facial features, but the high nose up here and the pointed ears with the serrated edges, it is built to mimic the people that were here, but it just stands quietly without movement. There's glowing, those glowing colors everywhere, but almost as if it's like a heartbeat that's fading. It's not beating and pulsating, but I mean like that feeling of, you know, at one point it was brighter. It had to have been. You wouldn't live like this. And so it's as if there's somewhere here, there's something fueling this that is near the end of its life.
Is there like an underground river around the city or through it at all?
Yeah, there's a point at which you are passing through, and I'm going to say like hours are going by. I mean, this isn't minutes, obviously, but as you pass through and just are exploring, you come to an area that appears to be a connection between maybe the more commerce area and then residential, and you pass over this a bridge that it's like this decorative stone bridge, very different from what you've seen. there's metal holding it together, but then stone that appears to have been placed here intentionally to mimic what you're mostly familiar with. And the way that it's presented is like it's an homage. Like, this is quaint. And it leads over this underground stream. You can see this moss that just has a very faint luminescence to it. It looks as though at one point it might have been meticulously manicured, but it has grown all underneath this bridge and in the little cracks where the stone is.
I'm gonna be that guy.
Okay.
We were just walking through the commerce section. Is there anything worth taking around here?
It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for more like jewelry, you could go into some stores that you see. There are, I'll put it this way, you get a sense of how these people dressed. Lots of, again, metals that are part of the fabrics. You can see, there are like mannequins, but only a few of them. There's a takeaway here is that you are missing something in that there's a lot of ornate decoration. There's no paper around. There's little in the way of physical art. It's there, but not as much as you're familiar with in your life. There's no murals on the walls. There's no painting.
Any decorations like within the architecture, like built into it?
Yep, there's some there, but it's almost like, and it's lacking something that you can't put your finger on. Like, you don't know what it looked like when everything was alive here, but it couldn't possibly have looked like this. This isn't alive enough. So you can find like mannequins with the latest fashion, metal and like smooth metal pieces built into fabric covering up the bodies that are very humanoid and human and elven in appearance. You can find jewelry, again, mostly made of metals. Some pieces that you go to pick up, it's almost like you pick up one piece and the other pieces are still scattered around, like they were held together with something else that's no longer there. No money that you find.
Pick up a necklace and it's like...
Yep, exactly. Like, that's exactly what happens. So it depends. There are no like weapons just hanging around or anything like that.
Weapons,
No.
potion shops, cash
No.
registers, bank vaults.
Nope.
If there's a Saks Fifth Avenue, I might take one of those like fancy metal plate dresses.
Nope. Yeah, there's none of that.
I can't take
mean,
a fancy metal dress.
You can. As you go to like take pieces of it off, though, similar to the necklaces, there's something not holding it together. There are pieces that you're like, how would you even put this on?
Do we see any fabric, or is it just metal?
There's some fabric,
Okay.
yeah, but they're not
Whatever was
woven
holding
together
it.
into
Yeah.
it's.
Like paper and thread. And...
It's like this civilization. They had something different in the weave than we did, or they harnessed the weave differently.
They certainly liked metal.
I mean, the forging of all this is unheard of.
Could this be a long-forgotten tribe of dwarfs?
I've never seen a dwarf that looks tall and thin like an elf.
That's true. Huh. This is so very cool.
I mean, how could everyone just leave all at once?
I suppose better question is, why and to where?
very strange. It's like everyone just left all at once, didn't take anything with them, but also didn't leave much behind.
Don't know.
Are we close by to any of those robots?
Oh yeah, they're kind of scattered around. Some of them look like they might have been in the middle of doing something. Like one of them is just like hand up, and you have no idea what it was doing, but its hand is just up and it's stopped.
Another one's just holding a bunch of packages.
I kind of want to like tap on one.
Okay.
Like chest. Just ding, ding, ding. And put my ear up against it.
Roll a d20.
Wow. I should go home. That's a 2.
Intruder alert.
You like tap on it, ting ting ting, and you take 10 points of what would this be? You take 10 points of damage that emanates directly from your shard. Like the moment your finger or your hand like wraps upon this, you in the blink of an eye feel the energy pull out from your shard across your chest, down your arm, out the finger. It almost like kind of zaps. You see the figure like jerks a little bit, moves, and the hand goes and goes down by its side, and then you feel it come back into you, and the pain in your chest is extreme, and you pull back instinctively at least 5 feet away from this thing that then stops moving.
I'm gonna run over. I'm gonna kick it over and be like, "What happened? What did it do?"
It hurt me. But in a weird kind of way, where I think I hurt myself.
How did you get it to move?
I just felt the energy kind of, you know, when you shuffle your feet across like the carpet, and then if we have carpets, then you touch something and you get zapped. It was kind of like that, but it came from me out to it, and then back in.
A defense mechanism, perhaps.
When you say it
Did
came...
you touch it?
I kicked it. Did I knock it over, or is it just too heavy?
It's pretty heavy, but it depends on, like, you could kick it or you could like kick it.
I ran over and I was like, "Huh, ping!"
Okay. Yeah, it fell over.
Like a through the air kick.
Yeah,
Just
like
hits the
straight up
ground.
Mortal Kombat kick.
Flying sidekick action.
When you say that it hurt you, did it hurt you here?
Yeah.
What if that's how they used to power this place? You said that came from the stars, right?
Yeah.
You said it holds great power within it.
Yeah.
But this place has no access to the sky. How would they have falling stars?
Maybe they brought one.
This whole place.
I mean, it would have to be bigger than the one that's in your shoulder. But
And
maybe
then
that's
it's
why.
gone.
Maybe that's why they built the city down underground. That's where it landed. And they built the city around it.
I wonder if it's still here. Do I feel anything?
No,
I'm not being drawn anywhere.
you are not.
If it was here, like a magnet. If there was one here, there isn't anymore.
Maybe we can find the remains of it.
Where it used to be?
We appear to be heading towards the center of this place.
And that seems to be. You said it was brighter. Like one building was like more lit up
Off
than the
in
others.
the distance, probably in the middle of the city somewhere, there was a brighter.
There's one place that's brighter than the rest. Perhaps we start there.
Yeah.
So we're really going to find like a fallen star?
Who knows? I mean, this place can't be explained just like falling stars.
This place is wild. Catherine's gonna be like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. This is
I don't
Wild.
think anyone has.
I didn't see anything outside Squall's End, to be honest. This place is pretty cool.
Iolite, you see a shadow off between a couple of buildings, somewhere down an alley, just disappear.
Hello?
There's no response.
What did you see?
I saw someone.
Someone or something?
I don't know. He did look humanoid shaped, from what I could tell. Or
It's hard to say with like the dim lights.
It looked alive, whatever it was.
I thought I saw something earlier.
Well then, if we may not be alone, it is most likely not anyone who originally lived here.
Perhaps maybe we should move forward, try and cover our tracks so we're not followed.
We should go to that building.
I agree.
Alright, let's go.
Make an investigation check. Whoever's gonna lead.
It's my cat.
All right. Kethra, and if anyone's helping.
I'll help.
Yeah, you want to do that?
So you can either roll or roll with advantage, or double 2 rolls or 1 roller with advantage.
That's a little better. Alright. Investigation?
Yeah.
12.
All right.
It's way better than that.
You all walk in this strange city. You see things like spherical devices that appear to have like stopped rotating on with rotating gears or
Sorry, that was my hip.
lightly glowing crystals. These tapestries that hang and appear to be of just like very faint ethereal lights. As you get closer along the way, you see like tapestries that look as though they are depicting landscapes, but kind of celestial in nature, and it's very faint. Again, that like the magic here is fading. You see interesting looking buildings that clearly, some of them, as you peek in, you can see that people lived there, and whatever they were doing, just time stopped in that moment and they were gone. But you walk for hours. You can kind of tell the direction in which you maybe needed to go, but without any kind of additional something, you are kind of walking somewhat blind and in mostly dark, or illuminating areas as you go, but you don't have a map
I was
of
gonna
where
say,
you're
if it's
at.
the brightest area, wouldn't it light up the sky a little more here?
It would, but not enough. Like, you're in a city. It would be like being in Boston and trying to find the center of it. I'm gonna say that you eventually get tired and need to find a place. There are plenty of spaces, doors are open, you can find a place to rest, but at least a day will go by of you kind of wandering between starting your day, going through the halls, taking your time, trying to not fall or get lost, and in some places getting lost, looping back around this first day of traveling underneath in this underground city. Is there anything that you want to do before you end day 1 of city city dwelling.
One thing that Kai does want to do, because you said, like, how tall are the buildings?
It ranges. There are some that are, only 20-ish feet up, and others that are much bigger that appear to be
Maybe
official buildings of some
like
kind.
5 stories or more.
Yeah, they're pretty big here.
Kai's just gonna look to the group. Let me try and get our bearings so we know how far we've gone and how far we have to go. And then he clenches his fist as he looks down, and then he jumps up and he casts fly on himself, so he wants to get above the buildings so that he can see how far they've gone from where they originated, because I'm sure like they didn't take just like a straight path.
Yeah.
And then maybe if he can see that brighter building in like correlation of like how far they've gone to how much further they have to go.
Yeah. Yeah, if I would say if you kept going, you probably like trying to figure out the way to go, and like you have to go over some bridges and there aren't like direct connections. Maybe like an hour more. You could push it if you wanted. You're already, I will say, and I had forgotten to say this at the beginning, you are tired from hacking through vegetation for a full day, even though you are adventurers. Like, that is not something that you do every day. So you could push it, but if you did, you would definitely be not at full strength the next day.
Iolite looks at Kethra. Did you know he could do that?
No clue. It's kind of hot, though.
It's really full of surprises.
Yeah, he is. Damn.
Our friend can fly.
Eldon goes, Theratrix can fly.
That's true. Theratrix, you're very impressive, too.
Thank you. I'm working on it. I can't fly quite as effortlessly as Mr. Kai can, but
Mr. Guy.
We'll get there soon, Theratrix. Don't worry.
I will. Indeed.
Can't wait to witness it.
Do
Me as
any
well.
of the buildings around us look like at least a 4-star hotel or anything?
There are some
Or is there
spaces you
is
can
there a
stay.
domicile that looks
there-
comfortable?
Yeah, there are plenty of them. There,
I don't know if we were in the financial district or something.
no, not that you can tell. You're in a residential area, or you can easily find one, even if it takes you out of the way a little bit. You're able to find a home. Entering into it, you see, again, you would expect more decoration. Lots of those, like one full wall just appears to be like a giant slab of metal that is smooth to the touch, and there are runes, kind of, and that circular writing all along the door frame. The door, as you like push on it, this particular one, you actually get, like, you go to push it to walk in as if a normal door, but it doesn't. But when you press your hand against it, you can feel that it actually slides over to the side, so you just are able to slide it in, and it kind of disappears into the wall as you step in.
I want that like moment of where everyone's just kind of like about to go in. That's when Kai, like 2 foot, like bam, like lands right behind them. We've gone quite a distance, but it's probably at least another hour. I think we should rest so that we can really explore the rest tomorrow.
This place is not going to go anywhere. I mean, I hope. I don't know where the people went, but... Is there anything in their fridge?
Let's see. So,
Is there, like... Have we noticed... You there was one place where you said there was, like, a cup like in the originally. Like, have we noticed, like, you pass a lot of places, have there been like things that look like restaurants or cafes? Like in here, is there a kitchen? Like, has the food spoiled? Like, is there anything that looks like food? Like, what is left that looks edible?
There's nothing left that was, if it was left out, it has been long decayed or just like withered into nothing, and there's only stains. You search through this space and you find a lot of areas for sitting and relaxing. You find bedrooms with very comfortable looking beds. The fabric is like nothing that you've ever felt. It's almost like a mixture of metals and
I was gonna say, it's a metal
cloth.
blanket.
But it's very, very soft, and even it's like the metal has kept it from completely degrading or something. You're not really sure. There is no kitchen. There are panels on the walls in one particular area on the downstairs. Like there's an upstairs and then a downstairs, and again those flat sheets of metal. There's one where like you like press against it again, kind of looking for things that are swinging in and out, and it doesn't, but you can like push it up, and there's just a hole, like a metal space that it's finite, like it's only, you know, maybe a foot or so, but you like look up and it's just like a metal box that has the thing slide up and slide down. You see cups on the tables. There are
No like canned goods that
Nope.
never expire.
no, there is no food that exists. There's no refrigeration that you can see. It's not like home where you're trying to find the ice-box and where foods are kept. There's nothing here. There's a lot of decor around, like vases with things that look like flower stalks, and there's like things on the walls, but even then you'll see like panels that are blank. And yeah, it's got a coldness to it, but as I mentioned, you feel like you're missing something. Like if somebody could flip a switch on, you'd see how beautiful this place really was, but you can't picture it because you don't know.
So it sounds like there are a lot of sort of blank metal things on the flat panels on the wall. Iolite's gonna kind of like rub her hands together and look around, and then like put her hand against one.
Okay, roll a d20.
Please.
It's just a
7.
low roll day.
Yeah, I don't think I've broken the 10 today.
You take 8 points of damage as the same thing happens. When you touch, what are you touching? Are you touching like a wall panel? Are you touching one of the sliding ones with the box hole thing, or what are you touching?
You said there was like a big wall one, right?
In this house that you're in?
Yeah. I think she's just gonna like put her palm in the middle of the big wall one.
Okay. You put your palm in the middle and you feel that pain and that jolt. It's not enough to, it's not like it's a brain shock or anything like that, but when you do, the energy, like all of you standing there, you look over and you see a bright light that envelops this room that you're in, as the entire wall, for only a second, maybe 2, it like lights up with this bright white illumination, and you can see it's like a bunch of pictures that all shuffle through all at once. You hear the laughter of like a small child. You see a very quick scene of almost like a movie of 2 of these figures that you have seen, but in motion, laughing. One of them is like holding on, like hugging a younger child version of this race, and they're laughing and looking at you, or like at the camera, as whatever this scene is that is being depicted on the wall just like flashes quickly. There's a laughter, a hug, a big smile. You can see the life in the eyes of these people just for a moment as they speak in some language very quickly that you don't recognize. And it's almost like this is a like you're watching a scene from somebody's life, but lasts very quick and then fizzles out when it gets dark in the room again.
Did everyone else see that?
I think it is safer for you to not touch anything.
What happened to them? They looked so happy.
It's like they had some way of being able to copy a moving picture. And
Clearly have had amazing magics.
Whatever their power source was, it's seemingly gone. But it was
Almost.
doing a lot. Well, if that's all I could do, I can't imagine how much power whatever it was they were using must have had.
but if just that blank wall could do that, what was the city actually like? I mean, it just looks like plain steel all around us, but I think most everything must have had more than one purpose.
Especially considering there is so much of that metal all over the place.
Kai, you remember that sheet that you took from the temple. It's like, I hate to say it, like a tombstone shape, but that's what it kind of is, the flat bottom.
That's why Kai took it.
This really goes with my aesthetic. I gotta bring this back to the house.
This will now be my pillow.
And there is this moment, like, this particular item is only, a few inches tall, very thin. And all of the things that Iolite has touched so far, or the two things, have been large and potentially quite energy consuming. But just, the thought crosses your mind of, I mean, it's her decision, obviously, but...
You taking out, like, holding it so I can see it.
I didn't when we were in that temple. I took this. It's not as big as the other things that you've touched, but maybe we can get a better idea. And he'll just put it on the table in front of her.
She kind of rubs her shoulder, but it's like, of course she's gonna touch it.
Careful.
She's getting close in case of whatever it is doesn't last very long. She's gonna pick it up with two hands and kind of hold it in a way that other people would see it too.
Okay. Roll a d20.
And Mine are all betraying me today. A 19.
How about you keep that one?
Keep that one.
No, seriously, keep it. I don't think you have a nat 30 dice, so you can have that one.
So you, with
Any
two
works for
hands,
you.
hold on to the slab. Got so many dice. You feel that pain in your chest. Take another 3 points of damage. But you're able to hold on to this. And as you do, you all can almost see the glow in Iolite's, well, right now you would just be able to see the crack in her neck that has expanded over time. It glows slightly more. And although you can't physically see the energy that is flowing from her body into this slab, you know it's like touching the light bulb and it gets brighter. When you hold on to it, this metallic sheet lights up very faintly, but then above it you see runes, and it's like a projection of colors. There's pinks and blues and purples and reds, all like showing you, the best way I can describe it is like, Horizon Zero Dawn, anyone has seen? Where like there's a holographic projection of what could have been on a screen if it was a screen. Just maybe an inch or so above, there are shapes and the same like kind of runes that you saw, and then little symbols that don't really hold any meaning to you in this moment, but it just hovers across, and as you're holding it, it's just like you hear little like bleeps and bloops as it's just doing something, but the energy that's sustaining it is yours holding it there. It looks really cool. It's like you've seen Iolite, like an Aurora Borealis type event, and it's almost similar to that in a way, except that whatever this is being powered by you and your energy.
I'm gonna poke one of the floating shapes.
Okay. Your finger kind of like goes through it. You can see there's no give. You just pass right through whatever this holograph is, but when you like touch, as if you were touching the surface of where it ends, some things like shift around and move. They, like you've activated something, but also knowing, the power is just right here. So even if you activated something, where would it go other than right here? You're going to play around with it.
I mean, if she's just sitting there being the
It's
Energizer
just
Bunny.
sustaining, like it's
Yep,
just staying.
you're just
whatever.
sustaining it, yeah.
You just can't put it down.
It's like illusion magic, but interactive.
You kind of touch on there, and you see a little screen that kind of pops up. It ends up like perpendicular to the tablet that you're holding, so that you can kind of see it again. Very a sci-fi
Hello,
situation.
angels.
It's the scene that you had just seen, but it's like continues on, and you see what appears to be, it's really difficult to tell because you don't know this race or species of people, but potentially a more like feminine looking person, and then like a child, clearly a child, and they're laughing and they hold on, and then one of them leans into like you. It's like they're talking to you, and they're speaking this language, and again you have no idea what they're saying, and then they look down at the kid in their arms, and then the kid says something, and then they start singing a song, and you're like watching like a home video, not that you would know what a video is, of a scene of these two people that are just laughing. It's like very close up. The background that you can see is mostly like very light colors, like off-whites, but then there are little splashes of color somewhere in the background here. Looking around the room as you're like trying to see if it's here, it could have been, but you don't know what the room looks like in light. And you just kind of have a few minutes of watching this like intimate moment between these two people talking to someone else, talking to you, and then it just kind of like ends, and it.
Thinking they were talking to me, I'm like repeating what they're saying, like ugh, bug, 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 whatever it is.
It's a lot more. The language that you hear is a lot. It's like a mixture of. It has. The interesting thing about the language is that it somewhat, slightly, resembles the language that you heard the cultist of Shabazz saying. It's not the same. It is not the same. but there is elements of it.
Like certain similar, like either like the pitch or tone. It's familiar.
It's familiar. And does anyone speak Celestial? Do you speak Celestial?
I do.
I think I do.
I do.
Also. Let me check.
There are similarities to that as well. There's like a celestial undertone mixed with the whatever that abyssal language was that the cultist was speaking, that you heard.
They did not talk back to me.
No. It's like some weird celestial mix language. It's weird.
Back home, we used to have, we would call them repeating stones, but you could say a message into the stone, and if someone else picked it up, they would hear it.
Do you think that's what this is?
It seems like they were able to do that with what we could see, not just hear.
They captured a moment.
Very interesting.
To me, it would seem like we were looking through someone else's eyes, but maybe there was something else that, like this tablet, but in order to capture a moment.
It showed what was on the wall, even though we did not find this in this home.
Might have to do with proximity. Maybe this smaller one is just a mobile, and that's a larger scale one. But there's no way of knowing. This is all just guesswork, really.
And keep it with us. It might be useful elsewhere here.
I wish I could just touch everything, but it's really starting to hurt after a while.
Perhaps.
You touched everything. I feel it would drain you.
Perhaps while we're here, do you have gloves?
I wear like fingerless gloves, which is not helpful. No, I don't suppose I would have gloves.
Kai does have a pair of riding gloves. They might be a little big, but
Give them a try.
might prevent any mishaps.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take mine off and put on Kai's.
Okay.
Oversized other bits.
As you're looking at your hands, like you hold them out, and just beyond them, in the doorway, you see the full figure of a humanoid, probably about 5.5 feet tall, in shadow outside of the door. And as you like kind of put your hands down and make, I wouldn't say eye contact necessarily because you cannot see any eyes, but it just runs off out of your vision and out into the city.
I'm gonna go, wait, and I'm gonna take off after them.
All right.
Wait.
All right. Roll me a perception check as you run out into the darkness of the city.
I broke it.
I said it was
The
yours,
magic
Jazz.
is broken. That's the thing. It can't be mine.
All right, I take it back. It's mine.
9.
Full rules again.
You see probably just to your left, you see the figure like go off to the left. Are you running after it?
Yeah.
All right. Iolite is running after it. What are the rest of you doing as Iolite runs outside?
If Iolite's
after
running
her,
out,
We'd be
we
running
are
after her too.
going, and Kai has 35 movement, so even with a little bit of a head
faster than
start,
her.
he's probably caught up to Iolite.
Okay. Iolite, you can roll a perception check again as you exit the space and are trying to follow where this entity is gone.
16.
All right. You see and are able to point out to Kai that there's like a dark figure darting between. They appear to be much more familiar with where they are and where to go than you are, but you can follow if you would like.
Wait, I just want to talk to you. Stop. I'm going to keep following them.
Okay. You run.
You're so nice. You're like, you're stalking us in the door very creepily. I just want to talk to you. Or if I saw it, I would have shot something.
Well, clearly Iolite has some kind of connection to this place that she's invested in.
Just to confirm, is everyone following Iolite?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're all running through the streets of this city. You run.
Totally just turned Scooby-Doo on us.
You run through, darting. You are able to kind of keep up this entity in front of you, two-legged. You can hear the footsteps running ahead of you on the stone, darting through. You can hear the pushing of doors being opened, and then seeing sliding doors that had been opened so that you can pass through. They're taking you through this city. You jump over countertops and are following, but there is no indication that they have any. They're going to stop, and they have not responded to you. After only a few minutes, but it feels like forever, you turn a corner, and you swore that they went this way, but you find yourself face to face with a dead end. An alley that just ends in this metal stoppage point. As with any city, there appears to be it's a dumpster area where there was trash. Kind of trash, you don't know, but just a large dumpster, but there's nothing else there.
Knock on the dumpster. Are you in there?
You don't hear anything.
I'm going to climb up and try to look in.
Okay. You roll a perception check.
23.
You pull yourself up and look down in, and inside of this dumpster you see the body of an individual looking up at you, big eyes, and immediately recognize that this is one of the people of this place. They're in the dumpster holding themselves, looking up. They have dark hair. It's braided but messy in the moment. The long pointed ears with the serrated edges on the back. They have the high placed nose, and they look up and say something panicked as they push themselves back against the inside of this dumpster, and are just speaking to you in whatever their mother tongue is, and they look panicked and scared.
I have my elbows up over the dumpster, so I'm hanging, but I have my hands up it's okay. I don't know, I guess I didn't think about what I would do when I actually caught you. We're not here to hurt you. We just want to know what this place is.
And they're speaking back to you in this very fluid, and I won't even try because I'll just butcher what I picture to be a pretty beautiful language that they're speaking rapidly, and then they hide their head, and it's just holding themselves down in this space. What are you all doing? You're there with Iolite. She's right there.
She's got it well in hand.
Just standing
This is
there.
going great.
Seeing as how,
If they see a devil, they might be a little afraid.
seeing as how we can't understand them, Kai is going to reach into his pocket, and he is going to drink the potion of mind reading that he was given.
Okay.
So that way he can at least know what this person is thinking, just surface thoughts. He's not going to dig too deep just yet.
All right. You drink that potion, and kind of stepping up to look and see who it is that you are talking to. I need to look something up very quickly.
We had the same thought. I could do detect thoughts through the wand of wonder. And I just
Also, like, as you're doing that, or Iolite will be like, take out the metal thing again. Take out the metal thing again. I'll show them it. Maybe they'll, I don't know.
The metal.
The little
The
tablet
tablet.
thing.
Is there a little apple engraved on the back of it?
I am gonna have to make a call here. Okay. You get Kai. Has Kai ever used this type of thing before?
He has never personally used any sort of mind reading before, no.
Okay. Drinking the potion and focusing in on this individual, you get a very faint feeling of fear and confusion. It's almost like it is a what's the word I'm looking for? It's like it's a projection, like like you can't feel the full thing. And though you haven't ever used this before, you would expect it to be more powerful, but it's faint. And you can't tell if it's because something's wrong with the potion, or because you've never done it before, or because this is a different race that you have no communication with before, or what is wrong with it, but it's not working in the way that you would expect for it to.
They're afraid, but I don't know. It's like something's missing.
I'm gonna take a mango out of my magic closet.
Okay.
It's still in the dumpster, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna lean over the dumpster and be like, mango. And I peel some of the skin, revealing the flesh, and I just take a bite, and then I go, mango.
This individual...
Food is the great uniter.
It is like staring at you. You can see them taking in your horns and all of the decoration on them. You can see they're like going back and forth looking at you, Iolite and Ayla, Kai, anyone who's like kind of looking over into this dumpster. And Kai, you get more confusion as they go from like one face to another face to another. It's almost like, why do you all look so different from each other? Like you've come through this village, the city, and seen only this one particular type of person, which is another difference from the world that you all know. Yes, there may be areas where there's more of one than another, but you've always seen others. Kethra, you were familiar. Your village was humans. But then when you left and went to the cities and everything, it was like your village was intentionally only because it was under a particular type
Same.
of rule. But but even with the tieflings, there's a variety. Some are halfling or dwarven or human, or like there was still a variety that came from some that look like humans with just horns. Here you only saw this one particular type of person. So like you can see this confusion, feel the confusion that's going on as they are looking at each of you, like. And then when Ayla hands out, you can tell like they are not going to reach out and take that food. But if you place it down, there's a better chance. sit down. They don't make no movement to grab the food. And they appear to be just like frozen in fear that they will not move while you are all standing there staring at them.
I didn't have a chocolate bar.
Kethra would most likely decide to just hop over and jump in the dumpster with them.
Okay.
And then she'd go like this. She'd go like this, put her hand out, and go. And take their hand and go like this and put it over her heart and go. And breathe with them. Just go, really, it's okay. It's okay.
They definitely
can-
screamed when you jumped in.
So they can feel the beat of her heart is very slow and calm, and she's hoping that that will convey to them, not a threat.
Make a persuasion check.
God, please. 5.
Here's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
How are you inspiring yourself in this moment?
Not by flinging my inspired action across the table, by just taking a deep breath and relaxing and just hoping that this individual realize that we're not here to hurt you.
Okay.
3. Is it like just bad rolls night?
It's a bad rules night.
It's just a bad rolls night. She's gonna go, all right, well, that didn't work.
Okay.
All right, everyone, give them some space. Keth, come out, back up, everyone.
Before you move,
She's like, I just got in.
as you're holding that hand there and like hoping, and you open your eyes and look at them.
They bite you.
Okay, I'm probably gonna get bit. This is gonna come back and get me big time. I was like, this is gonna be dumb, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
1 second.
We need a yield rabies shot.
Yield rabies shot.
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, Kethra.
Can I have your dice? Because mine hate me.
That one or this one or those two? Whichever one you want.
26.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay.
Everybody shift dice around. Just
Seriously, it's like
Dice roulette. Yep.
You. Hold on. One second. I have to roll some dice.
yeah, she's getting fucked up. It's okay. It was worth it.
You have the hand on your chest, and you feel an unusual sensation that kind of like courses through your body and into your head. I need to delete these. I don't have enough dice to roll.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry.
Jumping in a dumpster is Kethra's dead.
She died in a
That's why
dumpster.
you never go dumpster diving. This is why.
You are going to take 38 points of psychic damage as you feel your head like the worst migraine that you have ever felt. It like pulls down from you, and yet you push back against it. Like it's like a scream inside of your brain that then comes out of your mouth, and in doing so, this whoever it is pulls their hand back. You hold on to something that was trying to be pulled out of your body. You watch this figure like morph in the blink of an eye as you were watching the rest of you into a black amorphous goo, and then get ripped out of the dumpster that it is in through a hole the size of a $50, just like with a sickening slurping sound. It just out, and your head is pounding, but whatever it was trying to take, you did not lose, but you are hurting.
What the fuck just happened?
And she's gonna. Can I cast upcast Cure Wounds at level 2 on myself?
Oh, of course. Yes, you absolutely can.
All right, so that is 2.
You saw that, right?
D8.
Oh, yeah.
I get to take
I
2
don't know
D8
what I
back.
saw.
2d8 plus 4.
8, 9, 10, 12 back.
And it is quiet again in this city.
Here we go. I'm gonna kill that fucking blob.
In the blob's defense, you did come on a little strong.
Was that blob one of them, or something looking like one of them?
I have no idea, but
Its mind wasn't whole. I'm not 100% sure it was one of them.
You think it could have been something pretending to be one of them?
Something was here.
What did it do to you?
Yeah.
I have the worst headache of my life, but it tried to take something from me. I don't know what, but it tried to take something.
Your wallet?
I don't have a wallet, but
Something from your head?
something from me. I don't know if it was one of my power. I don't know what it was, but they tried to take something. This is why I'm not nice to people.
You sit there in the dumpster here. You being in the space, catch a whiff of this like sulfuric after smell. It's just an odor that's lingering.
You guys smell that? No?
Do we?
You would, as it like you lean over, and it's almost like when it like ejected itself. That's what it left behind. Is this just like this
Stink
sulfur
cloud.
smell?
Like, this is why I'm not nice to people.
I am thoroughly confused at this point now.
And she goes stand up and go, can you help me out of this fucking dumpster, please?
Just like,
Thank you! This is why I'm not nice to people. I was trying to be nice. I want to get the hell out. What are we supposed to be doing? What are we doing here?
we're exploring. This is.
Let's continue to explore and get the fuck away from this dumpster.
Let's go back to that house and we can
Yeah.
explore.
And let's
Well
not-
rested.
And let's not follow any more like shadowy people.
As you say that, you look at the end of the alleyway where you came in, and there's another figure that's standing there in the darkness beyond, and then it moves itself out of your
Just as she
vision.
saw her, she's about to like produce flame, and then she starts, fuck.
I use thaumaturgy and my voice just booms out. I saw you!
Kind of echoes. I saw you. I saw you.
Like
It's
my
your
voice
voice.
echoes,
Yeah.
or it's like mimicking?
No, it's your voice that you
Oh,
hear.
okay.
It's a little eerie after effect.
We should bar the doors and windows when we...
We should keep a watch as well.
Yeah. Where the fuck is Nyx?
Oh, I thought he was with us again.
You may want to just summon him. We don't know what's here.
Yeah, it's worth his wrath.
Let's get back. Let's hunker down for the night.
Are we sure it's even night at this point?
You feel tired.
Not that it matters.
Yeah, you don't know exactly what time, but... All right. You find... Are you heading back to where you were, or just finding another nearby space?
We can find any place, really.
Okay. Find another space. How about you roll me a... Let's go with... how about a D4? Somebody. Who was the highest?
I haven't
me.
I haven't
What was
rolled yet tonight.
Yeah, go ahead.
4.
Okay. You find what you find a nearby building. Like after a little bit, what you kind of notice is every once in a while, as you're kind of heading back towards the residential area, you are catching glimpses of a shadowy figure. There comes a point where you see more than one at once as well.
Has it been increasing as we've been getting deeper into the city?
Well, yes. But you're headed back to where you were, so like you're kind of retracing your steps.
No, I'm just saying from the beginning, like he saw like
Yeah.
some movement, and then we went hours with really not seeing anything, and then we saw another one, and now I feel like we're just seeing them
Yeah,
like all
you're
over.
seeing. Yeah, you are seeing more. Yeah, it's like the more noise you make, you're seeing more of whatever these figures are. You end up finding a space, pushing open the door. A very interesting home. There's a variety of these metallic sheets around. Some of them also, like taking in this particular, it looks to be like a shop. There's a forward-facing space, and then you can go in the back and see that people lived here. You do recognize, and of course I can't think of words ever, just normal words, but a sundial, actually. There are several of them in here. There are some flat-faced sheets in circles or squares and whatnot, and then it's almost like up on the walls there are ancient sundials. Like, you would expect to see more of these where you are from. You see old watches, actual gears that you've heard of being used by more of like rich folks, because those are the kinds of things you have to get fixed. So like watches are completely out of the realm of possibility necessarily, but they seem to come more from like Posia and Lindumia, where the goblins and hobgoblins and orcs have all been playing around with more things that you've been hearing of, gears that move with magic. So you see it's like a watch shop, but there are a few higher up on shelves and up on the walls that appear to be for display or maybe more expensive, and then a lot of just like blank sheets, small ones, ones that are on chains, but they're just pieces of metal hanging. Decorative. You see like a little bust of one of the serrated mannequin ears, and it's got like them hanging off like little chains with tiny little circles on them. So potentially a watch.
Earrings.
But you do find beds in the back, and I would say there's probably like 3, so it makes sense to have watches. No pun intended.
Is there a couch or a table we can bar the door with?
The doors slide. So
Didn't we just see this thing like change its shape? Like,
Yeah, I can get
It
through.
makes
like
me feel comfortable.
you can definitely pull furniture over in front of the door. It would kind of, yeah, you can do that. You set yourselves up for the night.
Kai will also grab one of the watches just because he finds it interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I say old time watches, but it's old time for us, but new for you.
He's probably seen like maybe 1 or 2 watches in his life, but like it's just kind of interesting because he knows like there's like little gears and things.
Mm-hmm.
If we take a few of them, we can sell them on the surface.
Yeah, we could.
Be pretty rich.
Is there anything anyone's doing before bedtime?
I'm pocketing some watches.
Iolite sees Kaya with the watch, and then she's gonna like reach through her bag and pull out the pocket watch that she has, the Mithril pocket watch, and like hold it up next to it, and she just wants to see if they look similar, if they look like they're from the same place, or if they're like drastically different looking.
They both achieve the same goal, but the style is completely different. Very simple. The one that Iolite has is incredibly simplified, but you know it's worth a lot. The ones that are in here are like, if you pop open the back, there's like this crazy stuff going on with gears and springs and all this other stuff. Like, it doesn't just do probably what the one that you have does. So if yours is worth a lot, then this one would probably be worth, who knows, if you can make it work, which it is not working at this time.
Now, is it like a analog style with like two arms,
Yes.
like traditional style?
Mhm.
How is it divided?
It is divided into what you would expect for
So
your...
like 12.
Yeah.
So even though he may not be able to recognize the symbols, the overall breakdown of it is still familiar to a normal
Yeah.
watch.
If anything, when you're looking at it, you start to notice, because of all the spokes in the wheel of the normal like writing, you see little symbols that kind of very similar. Like, you might be able to maybe figure out a numbering system if you spent enough time perhaps looking at it and trying to. But it's already in that spoked shape where everything that you've seen
Everything
that represents
pretty
what you
much
think
has.
is their writing is in that shape.
His thought process is, if it's divided the same way that we divide it, these people did probably have some sort of access to the surface, because there's no day-night cycle, so they were keeping the same cycle as the surface dwellers, so to speak.
Right.
They have sundials, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they
they've gotta have
definitely,
sun.
yeah, so maybe this wasn't always underground, who knows?
Or maybe they're trinkets.
Watch in the bag. Watch in the bag.
Ancient.
Watch in
I
the
was just
bag.
cleaning up, man.
How many watches can I take?
It depends on how heavy you want to add to your encumbrance, because we do keep encumbrance.
Oh, I got a magic closet, baby.
Okay.
Just going around with, I can picture, because you can draw it on any surface. You take like one of the tablets, like you just like draw the door on it here, and then you just like.
If I know they're worth a lot of money, I'm going to take a handful of them
Okay.
to sell to
Yeah, you
finance
could
our
probably-
adventures.
I mean,
I was gonna
there's-
say, we do need an adventuring fund.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so-
exactly why I'm taking them.
There's probably like maybe 15 of them in this whole shop you could take. It's not, these are clearly, it's like a throwback here. Like,
We're robbing an antique store.
yeah, it's basically like antique watches. It's not going to be full of them. So, anything else that you're doing?
It's when she gets back to the room, she's gonna resummon Nyx.
Okay. The reason why you're here appears in the room.
Kai will volunteer for first watch.
Okay.
Iolite wants to go first, too.
Okay.
If we do pairs, I assume we would do pairs.
All right. The rest of you go to sleep. Iolite and Kai can roll perception checks.
Dirty 20.
All right. You are up for first watch, whatever that means. There's no night. You're in the darkness this whole time. The best that you can do is looking out of the shop window, which is facing like one direction. You can't help but be creeped out. There is no other feeling when you only have a window view, and whatever happens beyond that window you cannot see. And you have an across the street view, but whatever is happening a little bit further than that you cannot see. Even with like the dark vision, you're looking through glass, there's a faint light that's always there. You see throughout your watch that there are shadows moving in that darkness, sometimes fast, sometimes like stopping in front of one of the lights and then moving on. You also see like little creatures, very small, sometimes like little bugs that look like they're just crawling across. You notice at one point in this room there's like a little pocket that seems to be like moving on its own, and when you get closer you see it's just like a whole bunch of little bugs that are making it's like they're carpeted across this one particular spot. They're not doing anything to you, but it's like they're little millipedes almost that are just kind of like crawling all over each other. There's like more life here as you sit and have nothing else to do but look. It's all very quiet life, but there's more happening in this space than even though there are no humanoids walking around except for the shadows that you can see.
They appear to be curious with us.
Yeah, it's really hard to guess what their intentions are, I guess, because it was so scared, but then it was so powerful.
It was confused at, I want to say, because we all looked different from one another.
Yeah, I mean, they do, from what we saw, the ones we have seen in the pictures, they all look very similar. And I wonder if they didn't get out much.
Wondering if they were isolated somehow. Even still, if from what we've seen, they've been gone for so long, how could some of them survive but not know how to get out of here?
Yeah, we found our way in fairly easily. We sort of just stumbled in. Unless they don't want to leave. But nothing works. How are they even surviving down here if nothing works?
And again, I've seen no food. There's something that we're missing. Something else. Something happened here, but can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, and something I think has to do with me in a roundabout way. I keep thinking about the sky, well, the not sky out there. Just something about it. It was so like nothing I've ever seen, but also so kind of familiar at the same time.
That piece is connecting. It's connecting to all of this somehow. What did Cryon say? He saw us in the stars. Maybe that's where these people came from.
You think these people came from the stars?
A civilization like this, how could this not spread to the surface? How could this manufacturing of steel, how could this not spread? If anyone saw this, they would try and replicate it, even without knowing where their power source came from.
Oh, yeah. Or take it for their own.
I mean, I wasn't the greatest student, but there's nothing like this in any of the histories.
No.
And if it was the elves, even if they were here before the elves and the elves pushed them underground, the elves don't have anything like this.
Whatever their power source was must have been the catalyst for them to be able to invent and create all this, I guess. But it's gone.
It's
Do you
gone.
think someone took it?
You know that people want that small piece inside of you. Imagine what would be needed for a city. Your touching of that wall lit it up for a moment. I mean, take a massive piece or multiple pieces to do a vast city this size. Between those metallic beings, even to who knows what else is this city is capable of that we can't see without the power source.
And I can't help but wonder what would motivate someone or someones to steal something like that. With that much power, that it could power all this, could do a lot of harm.
Yes, it could. It was powerful enough to power a city. It would be more than enough to end another.
This isn't good, Kai.
We need to figure out what's in the center. And then hopefully that will answer some of our questions, but I don't think we're going to get all the answers on our own.
Yeah, probably not. I wish Cryon was here. He would like this.
I mean, even the rift, that at least there are mages, wizards who might know what to deal with, but I think we're in uncharted territory in this city.
Yeah, this is like a whole other world.
There's a shadow that comes around in front of the glass and stops right in front of you, Kai.
Oh, God.
Kai,
It's like a horror
Kai
movie jump
It
scare.
is.
doesn't even flinch. He's used to
Ayla goes,
to dark things in the night.
My knock.
It just stands there.
Falcon's window.
It looks to be like a child of whatever this race of people is, and it looks up at you. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
No, it's just looking.
Kai is gonna try and bear down and really fight whatever influence this thing is trying to have. First one was better, 14.
What is this doing? Sorry. You take 45 points
What?
of psychic damage. You feel as this creature, this person, is staring at you, you can feel something gets pulled through the glass out of you. Like, again, a scream in your own brain that then just kind of like gets pulled outwards. You see this person, this child out there just kind of like sinks backwards into the darkness and again liquefies and then is pulled back into nothing. You are memory drained. You must roll a d4 and subtract that number from any ability check or attack roll. And while you don't know what you lost, something was gone. And you just kind of stand there, shocked and in shock for a moment before coming back, and you feel a little bit emptier. It's not as if you can search through all of your memories and identify which one isn't there, but something's gone, and there's a little sadness that follows it. And as you look up at the direction where that child disappeared, more like bloop, and then was pulled away, you see emerging out of the shadow a very familiar figure wearing a dusty, long jacket, hair perfectly groomed at all times, and very pale skin, kind of step out of the shadows and see yourself standing in the street, looking at you, and then it pulls back. And that's where we will end the session tonight.
Oh, it's time
Did
to
I
get
see
the
that?
fuck back up to the surface.
Did I see it
Never
too?
went down.
Ayla, you saw it too.
It's time to go.